Today we're going to be talking about whether or not you should have a hair transplant without taking Propecia. This is a hot topic. I actually don't take Propecia and I'm going to tell you guys why. But before we get started, if you guys are new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. And if you guys like the content, go ahead and give us a like. I'm also going to be sharing our social media in the description box, as well as our recommendations and the article I wrote about this topic. So go ahead and check it out. Let's get started. So some of you may have heard, do not have a hair transplant unless you take Finasteride. And I'm going to dive into some of the reasons why that is, why people say that, and my own personal reasons for not taking Finasteride, and some of the issues that can occur if you don't take Finasteride. The reason why everybody says you have to take Propecia Finasteride if you have a hair transplant is because androgenic alopecia, genetic hair loss, is a progressive condition, right? So let's say you're 22 and you're noticing that your hairline is receding and you're freaking out and you're like, no, I don't want to look like Vegeta. So you want to get that straight hairline that you had when you were 18. So let's say you have 3,000 grafts transplanted to the front, have a full, thick, low hairline, and then after a few years, the middle starts to go. And after another few years, the crown starts to go. And let's say by the time you're in your mid-30s, the sides drop. Now you have a unnatural tuft of hair that is too low, and surgeons just don't have enough donor hair to transplant the middle and the sides and make everything tie in together. You'll be in a bad situation. And this is why it's advised to take Finasteride, because Finasteride, while not a cure, it stops the progression of genetic hair loss. And in some individuals, it can even regrow hair. Okay, so I'm gonna get a bit personal with you guys, but that's okay. I mean, you guys seen my hair transplant story, so let's get personal. All right, so the year is 2007. I was 22 years old. You guys do the math with how old I am. I was 22 years old, and I started noticing that my hairline started receding. Somebody said, hey, your hairline's receding, and I started freaking out just like everybody. I had my flip phone taking photos with it, you know, aerial views and everything. And lo and behold, yes, I was losing my hair. So obviously the first thing I did was look up what can I do about hair loss online. And I stumbled across Finasteride. So I visited a doctor that gave me a prescription for Finasteride, actually Proscar, and I cut it up into fourths. So I think I was taking 1.25 milligrams. And I was taking it for, I would say, about 2 months, 3 months, until I started experiencing some sexual side effects. Now, you know, it's a kind of a difficult subject, but that's okay. You know, I went through it. So I didn't read the side effects. I mean, I was just so concerned with hair loss that I didn't even look up the side effects. I just started taking the pill. So as soon as I started wondering what the hell is going on with me, I'm a 22-year-old guy, I looked up the side effects for Proscar and realized that that was probably the cause of my issues. So I stopped taking it. And in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have stopped cold turkey, but I stopped taking it cold turkey. And I want to say the side effects persisted probably for about 6 months. So I think I stopped taking it, let's say June 2007. And I don't remember feeling better until probably November, around that time of 2007. And after that, you know, I read online afterwards that you just have to stay with it and it gets better, and maybe that's the case. Personally, for me, I decided that my sexual health was more important, so I stopped taking it, and I lost all my hair. And I'm gonna link a picture of what I used to look like right here. And yeah, I lost all my hair, and I lived as a balding 20-something-year-old for pretty much all of my 20s until I decided to undergo a hair transplant procedure when I was 29. So the reason why I say this is because had I had a hair transplant when I was 22 and I didn't take finasteride, I don't know where I'd be right now. I honestly don't know what would have happened. I may have depleted my donor area, had an unnatural hairline. A lot of things could have happened because I just didn't know how far my hair loss would progress. So that's why it is important to take finasteride if you want to have a hair transplant and you're young. That said, it's not a complete requirement, but you need to be conservative. I think if you have a minimal amount of hair loss, you should try to stop it by medication. So if you haven't tried finasteride, go ahead and give it a shot. A lot of guys don't suffer side effects. I'm not trying to say that finasteride will always cause side effects, because it may not. A lot of guys take finasteride and don't experience any side effects. And you know what? Those guys are lucky. I'm jealous. Unfortunately, that wasn't me, but it may be you. So by all means, try it out. If you suffer side effects, just wean off of it and stop taking it. And you know, you can try a combination of minoxidil and the derma roller. You can try azelaic acid. There's some other treatments that are on the horizon, like Breezula. I'm going to be talking about that in the next video, so you guys stay tuned. Alright, well, that's pretty much all I have to say on the subject, guys. If you guys like the video, go ahead and share it with friends and family or anybody that wants to have a hair transplant. I think this is an important topic to get out there. A lot of guys don't want to use finasteride and they want to have a hair transplant, but you can. But like I said, if you're trying to be too aggressive, it's not a good idea. Alright, till next time.